My name is Miss Abby, and I'm the Youth Services Manager at the New Albany-Floyd County Public Library. You will find me sometimes in the children's room and sometimes in the teen scene. And I like reading all kinds of things, but I especially like reading nonfiction and realistic fiction.
Hi, my name is Miss Teresa, and I work here at the Children's Department at the New Albany Library. My favorite kind of books is realistic fiction.
Hi, my name's Teresa. I am one of the librarians here at the library who works primarily in the children's department. The kind of books that I like to read are, I love science fiction, I like adventure, fantasy, I like any book with a mystery or a puzzle to solve, and books with interesting settings or characters that are really different from me.
I'm going to tell you about Battle Bunny by Scieszka and Barnett. But first, let me tell you a story about a kid named Alexander, and let's see if this maybe has ever happened to you. So Alexander's birthday was coming up, and his his beloved grandmother, who lived in another state, and she loved Alexander so much, she wanted to buy him a birthday present. And she knew that Alexander liked to read, and so she went out to the bookstore, and she found the perfect story, such a sweet little story about a bunny having a birthday, and she knew her little Alexander would just love it. So she bought it, and she wrapped it up, and she sent it to Alexander. And when Alexander got the package in the mail, he was so excited. He knew that his grandmother had sent him a book. He was so excited to see what it was, and he unwrapped it, and he hated it. Oh, it was a sweet little story about a bunny having a birthday. It was never something that Alexander would have picked up on his own to read. It was not the kind of thing he liked to read at all. So Alexander took the birthday bunny, and he made it awesome. Alexander changed the story of the birthday bunny into Battle Bunny. Battle Bunny has an evil plan, and his birthday gives him special battle powers. Even all the president's best agents may not be able to stop him. You can see that Alexander took the book that he was not interested in, and he changed some of the words, and he drew some of his own pictures to make the story something he'd want to read, to turn it into something awesome. So if you want to find out what kind of evil exploits Battle Bunny gets himself into, or if you're interested to see how Alexander changed the story and made his own story, then check out Battle Bunny by Scieszka and Barnett.
One of my favorite things to do on Thanksgiving Day is to watch the parades on TV with all those beautiful gigantic balloons. If you have ever wondered who invented those balloons, this book is about that man. Balloons Over Broadway, the true story of the puppeteer of the Macy's Parade by Melissa Sweet. From the time he was a little boy, Tony Sawyer loved to figure out how to make things move. He once said he became a marionette man when he was only 6 years old. A marionette is a type of puppet that is moved by pulling strings that are attached to it from above. When Tony grew up, he moved to London, where he discovered that no one was making marionette puppets for kids anymore. So out of wood, cloth, and strings, Tony began to make puppets. He figured out ways to make his marionette puppets move so lifelike that they performed as if they were real actors. Word spread about Tony's amazing marionettes. Macy's department store in New York City learned about Tony's puppets and asked him to make puppets for their parade. So he did. On Thanksgiving Day, Tony's creatures spilled into the streets. Part puppet, part balloon, part air-filled bags wobbled down the avenues, propped up by wooden sticks. But now the sidewalks were so packed with people that only those in the first few rows could really see the parade. Tony realized his puppets would have to be even bigger and higher off the ground. And though the sticks helped to steer the puppets, they were stiff and heavy. Tony wanted his balloons to articulate, to move and gesture more like puppets. But how? Tony Sawyer had to think up a brilliant plan so that his puppets could be seen. To learn how he did this, be sure to check out this book, Balloons Over Broadway, The True Story of Macy's Parade by Melissa Sweet.
Okay, this book is called Funny Bones, Posada and His Day of the Dead Calaveras by Duncan Tonatiuh. And this is a nonfiction book, a true story, about an artist named Jose Guadalupe Posada, or just Don Lupe Posada, who was famous for his pictures of calaveras, or skeletons, especially skeletons doing kind of strange things for skeletons, riding bicycles, playing the guitar, wearing fancy hats. He lived a long time ago in the 1800s in Mexico, and he began working for a print shop, which is where he learned some of the techniques he used in his art, like lithography and engraving, and later he used some etching as part of his art, and explains how those things work in the book. And he did a lot of these interesting calaveras pictures. Some of them were very funny and silly. Some of them tried to make really serious kind of messages across to people. And some of them even included these funny little poems. So here's one of the poems that went with one of his pieces of art. So it says, "It was a warm afternoon in the middle of May. Mr. Bones grabbed his hat and went walking that day. When he noticed a beauty on the opposite street, he ran towards her and knelt at her feet. 'You are the prettiest girl I've seen in my life. Please marry me. Please be my wife.' 'I am sorry, senor, but that cannot be. You're handsome and all, but too skinny for me.'" So that's one of the silly ones. And these were popular on a Mexican holiday called Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Maybe you've heard of that before. There's a little bit of information in here if you read the info at the very end of the book if you want to learn more about Dia de los Muertos. But Posada was a very interesting artist. He actually wasn't famous during his lifetime. He became famous later when people discovered his metal and wood plates that he used to make his etchings, his engravings, those prints. And so this is a great one if you like art, if you are interested in especially creepy kind of pictures, if you like some of these skeletons doing weird things. If that is your style, you'll probably like this one, and you'll learn more about this interesting person. So this one is called Funny Bones, Posada and His Day of the Dead Calaveras.
The Princess in Black by Shannon, Hale. I want to start by reading you a little bit from this book. Princesses do not run. Princesses do not stuff frilly pink dresses into broom closets. Princesses do not wear black. And princesses most definitely do not slide down secret chutes and high jump castle walls. But then most princesses do not live near an entrance to Monsterland. Stopping monsters was no job for prim and perfect Princess Magnolia. But fortunately, Princess Magnolia did have a secret. She was secretly the Princess in Black, and stopping monsters was the perfect job for the Princess in Black. Princess Magnolia is everything that a prim and proper princess should be. She's dainty and polite. She invites duchesses in for tea when they stop by unexpectedly. Oh, and she fights monsters. Even though this is not a prim and proper princess thing to do, Princess Magnolia knows that she must protect her kingdom from the monsters who sometimes sneak in from Monsterland. When the monster alarm goes off in Princess Magnolia's castle, she knows it's time for action, and she rushes to respond to the call for help. But when the alarm goes off in the middle of tea with Duchess Wigtower, one of the nosiest gossips in the kingdom, Princess Magnolia must be very careful not to reveal her secret. If you like your princesses with a helping of awesome monster fighting, then this is the book for you. And luckily, The Princess in Black is a series. This is the first book in the series. So if you like this one, then you can check out the other Princess in Black titles that we have at the library. And that is The Princess in Black by Shannon Hale.
Hi, today I want to tell you about the Who Was series. But first, a little quiz. The question is, who was Walt Disney? A boy who loved to play practical jokes. B, an ambulance driver during World War I. C, the creator of Mickey Mouse. Or D, all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. In this book, Who Was Walt Disney by Whitney Stewart, you will read about a man named Walter Elias Disney. As a boy, Walt was a class clown. He loved to entertain his friends. He had a hard time paying attention in school because he loved to draw and he had a real talent for it. To earn money, he delivered newspapers, and when he was older, he worked at a post office. World War I started, and Walt became an ambulance driver in France. After the war ended, he returned to the United States to work as an artist. This is when he created the lovable character known round the world as Mickey Mouse. In this book, you will learn about the great strides of technology Walt made in the art of animated films, and how he created fun and excitement for boys and girls of all ages with his fun-filled Disney parks. In this Who Was series, you can read biographies of all kinds of interesting people, such as authors, sports figures, presidents, inventors, musicians, and many others. So be sure to check out the Who Was series at the library.
Thanks so much for listening today. I hope that you heard about a book that sounded good to you. If you did, remember that you can check out all of these books for free at the new Albany-Floyd County Public Library. If you didn't hear about a book today that you really thought you would like, then I want you to still come down and see us at the library because we're happy to help you find any kind of book that you would like to read. And if you don't have a library card, remember that you can get a free new Albany-Floyd County Library card. Just come down to the library anytime that the library is open. Make sure that you have a parent or guardian with you to sign for your card, and we'll get you all set up. So thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you at the library.